So the second episode of the Book of Boba Fett is now out, and we are going to be going full into spoilers, breaking some stuff down, giving you guys some insight, things of what's going on, and just my personal take on the episode itself. So that being said, ShadowNinja here of Real Reviews, and today we are going to be going full on in Book of Boba Fett. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, click away, add the watch later, come back. But right off the bat, we get I guess you could say falling out, or a moment of the fallout of what happened in the last episode. He was attacked and attempted assassinated, and we learned a little bit of who this character was, and Boba Fett isn't totally, surprised at it. We do know this person is from the Order of the Night Wind, and with a very, very pleasantly surprising nice little, I guess you say, bluff from Fennec and Boba Fett. They threatened this person with the Rancor, throw him in the pit, in a very similar way to how it all unfolded with the Return of the Jedi, Luke versus the Rancor that used to be in the pit before it got killed. Spoiler alert, it got killed, and it's empty. So he got bluffed, and they went to go pay the mayor a visit. Now, this whole scene, I love the cinematography here. It's very intimidating, and he goes on in and has this confrontation with the mayor. Now, this whole confrontation in itself was very hostile, and it seemed a little bit off, as the mayor kind of wasn't the one in control or the one calling the shots, and it comes to a big reveal later. But this whole time, the mayor treats Boba Fett as he used to be, a bounty hunter, and that's not what Boba Fett is anymore. He is now the new crime lord. He has laid claim to Jabba's territory, and he wants to change things up. Now, maybe this changing things up isn't settling well with the people of Tatooine and Mos Espa and stuff like that, but at the same time, this leads to some interesting direction and some interesting stuff going on. Now, the mayor basically tells, Boba, go see Garsa again and see what's up. And Boba does just that, and right off the bat, we can tell that Garsa seems a little off. Whether she's surprised that Boba is alive, or surprised that Boba has returned so quickly, something is up, and we find out quickly what is up. In one of the best introductions of Hutts in general, we are introduced to the twins. Now, Boba Fett, seen before, seems pretty familiar with the twins. Now, when it comes to Star Wars lore, the twins I have no recollection of in the comics or stuff like that. They're just another part of the Hutt family, and the Hutts are an interesting place, though. If you guys don't know, Vader killed the council, so their power and maybe why they took forever to come back is potentially, that's a factor. Again, I don't really care if we don't get a reason why they waited 5 years to take claim to the territory. That's just my personal take. Some people might want answers. I don't really care too much. But again, Boba and the twins have this great show off, and the most important part is in front of everybody. The people of Mos Espa are seeing this unfold, which is definitely going to play in the factor of, I guess you could say, Boba Fett either claiming name to his territory, or the twins claiming name to Jabba's territory, which they came for. And we also get the introduction of a Black Wookiee, who, if you guys know the comics and know the Star Wars lore from the just in general, this is not a new character at all. Now, the great thing is that right off the bat, we see that Boba and this character in the show, seemingly they are implying they have history. So if you guys have never seen the comics, you guys don't really, I guess you say, need to watch them or learn them or read them, whatever you want to consider it, because they lay it flat out with some of the dialogue that these characters know each other. And this character is Black Carstanza, or Black Carson. I forget the pronunciation of this guy, but he is very intimidating. He is from Kashyyyk. Obviously, he's a Wookiee, and him and Boba Fett have worked together many times. They have a history, and it is clearly laid out right there for us to see. Now, these two getting in a conflict, I'm interested, man. Wookiees are players you do not want to mess with. We all seen in the original trilogy of, Chewbacca ripping your arms off potentially and all this other stuff. We know that they are real players in the real deal. So, again, this bounty hunter that's a Wookiee and Boba Fett having a confrontation, certainly something we want to see unfold. But with that, pretty much it ends off with the Hutts, or the twins, going off. They can't kill Boba. They know that violence isn't the best for business. And, Boba kind of knows that they got to get permission to kill the Hutts as well, because the Hutts are still a big deal in the underworld stuff. And this leads to the past. There's things that I guess some people don't want to see, but I honestly love, and I think we found purpose in this episode of why it's so important to see what happened. So Boba's getting trained by the Hutt Tusken Raiders in their ways, their fighting styles, and we see it in Mando Season 2, I guess you could say, his training in action. Now, one of the most important parts of the introductory scene is we see the Pike train come off and shoot and kill the Tusken Raiders. They're just using their territory, making wealth, making a lot of money, clearly probably off of spice as well. And Boba doesn't like this. He asks the leader of the tribe to go off, and he goes to Tosche Station. Now, Tosche Station, if you guys don't know, is a very Star Wars lore thing. It's a deleted scene from The New Hope. And the characters we see here are also in that deleted scene. So it's not really important, but it's a nice little, tidbit to fan service that, again, I think is very, very well done here. But Boba Fett comes in, lays waste to these biker gangs. Forget the race of them in general, but yeah, he goes in there, he messes them up, and he takes their bikes back to the tribe. Now, what's so great about this is that we see a conversation later that the tribe leader and Boba has like, these off-worlders have machines, we don't have machines. And Boba notices that and he teaches them the ways to use the machines, or in this case, the bikes. Now, the whole purpose of this is to get back at the Pikes and take claim of the profits of the train, and what leads to one of the best sequences I have seen in Star Wars, and certainly one of the best sequences we've seen in Star Wars TV. I love, train sequences. I think they're some of the most high octane stuff we can get, and this scene and this whole sequence was done very, very well. The action was there. We see this warrior Tusken, we have no name for them, but the warrior, I guess we consider it, go in, mess things up. Boba goes in, has with the Tusken Raiders a great action sequence, and they stop the train. And what the train conductor did some weird shit, I'm not gonna lie, he just jumped out and just, hey, I'm just gonna hurry off away. But yeah, in general, this doesn't really lead to something that's good if you guys know Star Wars lore at the Pikes, but we'll get into that just now. So Boba's sitting down, he's chilling, he's talking, yo, who's a leader, has a conversation, and talks to the guy, and he basically says like, yo, you guys can't be going forth in our territory or the Tusken territory without paying a fair share because you're using these people. These are their lands. You can't be doing this. And obviously he says, we know you got spice. We're going to let you live, and you're going to go off to syndicate. You got to pay up if you're going to do stuff like this. But I'm really wondering where this is going to lead, and that's why I don't know if the past stuff is kind of finished yet. The Pikes don't really take this stuff lightly. Don't mess with their spice, and that's kind of what Boba and the Tusken Raiders did here. So I'm curious if there are going to be any type of, consequences for this. Maybe the Pikes come in and wipe out the tribe. Who knows? Maybe the tribe do live a happy ending life. But again, I'm curious to see if we go back and visit some of this past stuff again. Maybe the Pikes go in, attack, and wipe them out. Who knows? Maybe this leads Boba to do his own thing and reason why he's on this quest. But at the end of it all, he is granted with a gift. And this gift leads him on a psychedelic adventure. Now, the meaning of this can get very, I guess you could say, up in the air. I guess my best guess is that he is becoming a new man. He is no longer the bounty hunter that we used to know him as. He is now becoming his own, I guess you say, leader, crime lord, whatever you want to consider it, or consider what he's trying to be. And certainly there was a lot of interesting stuff. We got some scenes of Kamino, which I thought were pretty cool. He breaks apart this branch tree, which we see becomes his weapon later. And at the end of it all, he is fitted in Tusken Raider equipment and gear, and we see him in a familiar look that we saw him in Mando Season 2 as in. And yeah, this was a very holy celebration, and I think one of the best parts of the celebration was it brought a very grounded approach to representing the Tusken Raiders, someone who we kind of look as adversaries in the Star Wars world, but they kind of just seem like regular people trying to survive. This is their land, they're just trying to live, and these off-worlders like Luke and stuff are kind of the bad people, which is very interesting. But in general, guys, this episode honestly really kicked things forward with this series. I know some people were not liking the first episode, myself included. We're a little bit like, this was very good, a good start, but I want to see where things go. And the second episode definitely delivered in that regard. But yes, the Book of Boba Fett episode 2, the Tribes of Tatooine, is certainly the best episode so far of this series. I'm excited to see where things go with the Hutts and the twins, that Black Wookiee, Black Corsanza, and just in general, what else is in store for this series. I'm very excited for next Wednesday. But if you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative, definitely drop this video a like, helps the video a lot. If you guys are new here and want more reactions from me when it comes to Book of Boba Fett stuff, maybe some Star Wars stuff, or any other movie stuff in general, even some TV stuff, definitely hit that subscribe button. But yeah, with that being said, that's all I got for this one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.